Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this one I thought I would give you guys real come up advice, because the advice that tend to go in the internet or here on the YouTube street is like wear some makeup, wear a cute dress, get your hair done, get your nails done. And I wholeheartedly believe in putting your best foot forward. I doubt that you'll find a living, breathing human being that believes more than me in not looking like your problems. You won't find me there looking raggedy. You won't find me at the supermarket looking raggedy. You won't find me at the ATM looking raggedy. It's just something that I don't believe in. But at the same time, I understand that that won't get you out of the hood. Okay, it may get you a free Starbucks here and there, but it won't get you out of the hood. Okay, let's just be real, right? As a matter of fact, wearing cute dresses, heels and stuff like that in the hood could be dangerous. And see, you guys, this is why I tell you, even my advice, it doesn't matter, when taking advice from the internet or even from people that in real life, cousin, etc. I know that people always talk about pay attention to the source. Sure, that's important, but I think what's even more important is taking your own personal situation in mind and ask yourself, will this work for me? Is this applicable to my real life, to my reality, right? And when the advice is not centered around physicalities, the advice is often centered around, in my opinion, very surface level personal development things like reading. I mean, are there adult women who don't read? Actually, I know a lot of adult men who don't read, so they are definitely most likely adult women who don't read, right? Crazy. Learn a second language. Again, I learn Spanish every Wednesday. I think that's great, but again, I do not think that speaking Spanish is gonna get you out of the hood. You're just gonna be that black lady in the hood that knows how to speak Spanish, right? That Spanish speaking black girl in the hood, right? So I personally do not think that this advice can help you really advance your life, change socioeconomical class, network with people above your pay grade. I just don't think that that's enough, that it would cut it. I think it's the beginning, but it's not the nitty-gritty of it all. And I'm going to make a separate video about the 5 skills that I think are necessary in order to really level up your life, to really take your life to the next level. But in this one, I just want to show you guys how keeping it real sometimes is killing your come up. Now I find that we, and when I say we, I say we as black women, because black women are the women that I talk with the most, I interact with the most. I would say 65% of the people that I interact with are black people, even though I know Caucasian people and I have Caucasian friends, etc. My family members are all black, right? So I find that sometimes we tend to be too obsessed with this, keeping it about, keeping it 100, and I don't find that that is always conducive to our come up. Think of how, Michelle Obama said that when she got into the White House, this was a written interview that I read of her, she slow ghosted, right, some of her friends. I mean, she could have, told them, she could have called them and said, girl, what, I don't think that you is, well behaved enough for the White House, or I don't think you is classy enough for the White House. But she didn't do that. She just slow ghosted them. I also once saw a video interview of her where I think it was a panel, because there was her and there was Kelly Rowland and there was other black women, and I believe this question came from Kelly Rowland. The video is here on YouTube, you can find it. If I find it, I will link it in the description box. And Kelly Rowland asked her, this was during the tour of her second book, The Light We Carry. Yeah, it was her second book, The Light We Carry. It wasn't Becoming, right? And Kelly asked her, girl, when you were in the White House, you never wore them braids. And she talked about how she was intentional about that, how she didn't want to wear braids while she was the first lady of the United States of America, because she understood that black hair is political and she didn't want people to write think pieces about it. She didn't want that to affect potentially Barack's second term, etc., etc. So there was a lot of strategy behind it, you guys. This is what I want you guys to think about, how people who get somewhere in life are generally people who are very strategic. They are not people who are very emotional, who just feel the need all the time to keep it real, to keep it 100. That's, in my opinion, people who feel the need to keep it real all the time are people who suffer, first of all, from low emotional regulation, but second of all, also from low emotional intelligence, right? And I'm keeping it real, you guys, since you guys like when people keep it real so much. And I know that when I talk about this with, people that I know in real life, friends, I get a little bit of a pushback, and people tell me, why not just cut them off, right? If you're not going to keep it a buck with them. First of all, I don't think that's the right question. I think the right question would be, why would you feel the need to keep it real with people who don't, right? When you go to work, your coworkers are not keeping it real with you. So why do you feel the need to keep it real with them? In my opinion, that's more, you know, the questioning, the reasoning that would go into your mind. But I will answer the question because, you know, sometimes I don't think that cutting people off is necessary, and I wholeheartedly believe in cutting people off, you guys. I've cut my own sperm donor off, okay? So clearly I believe in cutting people off, but sometimes it's not necessary in my opinion, or sometimes it's not conducive to my goal. I'm just going to be that honest, you know. I think that I am somebody who is extremely goal-oriented. I think most people should be, and I always have my goal at the forefront of my mind. This is something that I talk about all the time, and I guess this is a mini story time. One time, my hairdresser actually at the time had an amazing hairdresser. It was faux locks, and you guys, it was boohoo faux locks, and it was fire, it was everything. And I told her, girl, I love your hair, and she was kind enough to, you know, give me the telephone number of the lady who did her hair. Of course, I compensated her for the recommendation. I was very grateful because as a hairdresser herself, like she didn't have to do that. So I get to the lady's house, you know, and you know, she's doing my hair. I bought my book, you know, I'm reading my book. I brought my water, my snacks, my everything, you know. I always go prepared, and I'm being quiet. When I get to a hairdresser, I'm always, you know, or to many places, I'm always quiet at first. You know, I am a highly discerning person. I would describe myself as such, and I like to observe first before I say anything. So I guess we are 15 to 25 minutes in. I don't want to lie, and the lady asked me, you know, who recommended you to me? And I told her the person. And you guys, when I tell you that this lady went through word vomit, she went through word vomit, okay? She talked about how so many customers of, you know, my former hairdresser come to her and they never go back. She talked about the husband of my hairdresser cheating. She talked about the kids of my hairdresser, something being wrong with them. You know, my hairdresser at the time, I use a different hairdresser now. She talked about her weight, which I thought was hilarious since she was bigger than my hairdresser at the time, right? And I could have told her, girl, what is you talking about? You know, you're bigger than her, and this place is not the cleanest, and da 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 da. But I was fun to get my hair did, okay? That was my goal. I wanted my full loss. I didn't want her to mess with my hair. At the time, my hair was like bra strap lane, and I got full C hair, and I'm 5'11", okay? So bra strap lane for me is waistline hair for you, okay? If you is 1.60 m anyways, right? So I kept it cute, okay? I kept it cute. I didn't say much. I just, you know, I didn't say much. And then she started questioning me about myself. You know, she asked me if I was in a relationship, if I was married, whether I had kids. She even asked me whether my child was biracial or not, which I thought that was crazy. And you know, I was giving half answers, you guys, because one thing about me, you know, this is gonna get you guys, you know, in your feelings. Some of you guys are not gonna agree with this, but oh well, it is what it is, you know. I don't feel any loyalty towards a gossip, okay? I do not feel like I'm bound to tell the truth to any gossip. If you is a gossip, I's going to lie, okay? I's going to lie. Like, I mean, why should I be honest with the gossip? Like, if you're just trying to know my business in order to go out there and tell it to other people, then I feel zero loyalty towards that. Like, as a matter of fact, I would do this thing when I was 26 or 27, where I would tell different gossip, different stories, so they would argue with each other about what the truth was, what the truth was, because hey, I don't give an F, okay? It is what it is. Again, if you're not keeping it real with me, I don't see why. I don't feel obligated to keep it real with you. Sorry. And in closing, I want to tell you guys that sometimes you have to keep it cute, and sometimes you have to keep it mute, right? Like, what does keeping it cute look like? It look like, you know, ignoring subtle jabs that people make, you know, take at you, you know what they finna do. They finna get under your skin. They finna get you, you know, to say something, finna get you out of character, finna get you angry. Don't play into it, you know. Don't give them what they're looking for. This could look like, let's say you live with your parent, right? You still live with your mom because you're trying to save money to buy your own place. You do not want to rent. Rent in America is astronomical. I see some content creators saying how they're paying $4,000, $6,000 a month for an apartment. crazy, right? So you don't want to do that. So even though you're making decent money, let's say you make 100K even, you know, for example purposes, but you still decide to live with your mom so that you can save money. And let's say that, you know, again, for example purposes, that your mom isn't, you know, the nicest, she isn't the kindest to you, she's, you know, she asks you to contribute for rent, she, you know, and she's just not nice to you, like on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes she talks to you anyhow, and etc, etc, right? Now you could give her a piece of your mind, okay? You could tell her like, I think you is a piece of of a mom for, you know, requiring rent from me, even though you brought me into this world and should try to help me to the best of your ability. Let's say that your mom does not need your rent contribution in order to live well, right? Obviously. And you could curse her out and tell her all the things that she did and all the ways that in which she harmed you, right? Or you could keep it cute and save your down payment and then buy your house, right? So when your friends make, you know, when they take subtle jabs at you, by the way, you guys do not get caught up in the example, they're just semantics. This could be that you have roommates, you know, let's say you have 4 or 5 roommates and, you know, your friends all have their own apartment, but you are saving much more money, right? You have invested in EFTs and etc, etc, right? When they take subtle jabs at you, don't mind them, because you see that, you know, 3 or 4 years from now, perhaps 5 years, you're gonna have your own house and, you know, they're still gonna be renting, right? You're gonna have your investment and they will have none. So do not feel the need to answer when people take subtle jabs at you about how, you know, you're still living with your parents, how you have no car, how you have no this, how you have no that. Just keep it cute, okay? In this situation, these are situations where you want to go like just keep it cute, because you know exactly what you're doing. In other situations, I recommend keeping it mute. Zip it, don't say a thing, okay? Right? So again, this could actually be the same situations as I just talked about, where you're living with roommates or living with your mom to save money for your dream house. If a friend takes up to jab at you, you know, I can't believe you is, I don't know, 35 and you live with 4 or 5 people. Oh my god, I couldn't live with strangers, I couldn't. Just keep it mute, okay? Just keep it. Don't say a thing, don't say a thing, because sometimes there is no need to tell people like what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing. There is no need. It's not helpful to you, it won't get you closer to your goal anyways. And just keep it cute or mute, right? Know when to keep it cute, know when to keep it mute, and of course know when to keep it real, know when to keep it a buck. But that's not always the case. Think of, for example, in corporate America, like, why would you keep it real, right? Let's say that, you know, you are dating a man. Now this one is going to be controversial as well. A man of, think of Michelle Obama, right? A man of a little bit of a higher social economical class than the one you come from, you know, and you go with him to work functions and stuff like that. Let's say you is a black woman and most people who he works with are not. If these people take, you know, subtle, I guess these are not even jobs, they will say stuff that is a little bit out of pocket, stuff that sometimes out of ignorance, and sometimes they are trying to, you know, hurt you, trying to harm you, trying to get you to be the angry black woman. Either way, ignore them, you know, as long as your significant other is not the one telling you this racist stuff. Just don't mind them, you know. Smile, like, swallow it. I know that sometimes it's tough. I've been in this situation a lot of times, you guys, a lot of time, but be like, you know, I'm not liking this, but okay. Okay, you know, think of how Michelle didn't wear her braids even though she wanted to, okay? So sometimes you have to sacrifice a little, sometimes you have to give a little in order to gain, sometimes you have to give a little in order to get to where you're trying to go. In my opinion, this is real, you know, come up strategy, right? It's not, again, wearing some dress or whatever, you know. You have to know when to keep it cute and when to keep it mute, you know, when to give half answers as well. I will make a dedicated videos about the 5 skills that I feel are necessary in order to really elevate in life, you know, a separate one because this one is getting too long. But know when to give half answers, you know. I remember that nosy hairdresser that I went to, you know, asked me where I live, and I told her where I live, and then she asked me how much did I pay in rent, and I told her, you know, my partner is the one who paid the rent. Even if, you know, I still knew how much the rent was, but I just didn't want to tell her, right? So, you know when to give half answers, know when to give half truths, know when to keep it cute, know when to keep it mute. I know I'm rambling by now, you guys, but I really want to drill that into you guys' mind. You know, don't feel the need to be hyper honest with people all the time, because guess what? Most people are not being honest with you, okay? So don't feel the need to do the same, you know when to be nice, nasty. these are real skills that will help you elevate your life, okay? Not just get by and get some free Starbucks from time to time. I genuinely hope that, even though this video was all over the place and I believe I kind of did a poor job at explaining my point, but I hope that you guys were able to get the gist of it. If you like this video, regardless, do not forget to give it a thumbs up in the comment section down below. Let me know, you know, what do you think about this? Do you feel, you know, like me, that sometimes we gotta keep it cute and keep it mute and keep it pushing? Or do you feel like, you know, no, okay, we gotta keep it real, we gotta keep it 100, we gotta keep it a buck all the time? Okay, that's your prerogative if you so think. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel as well for real come up advice, okay? This channel is about realistic come up, okay?